Today on the 5-Minute Book Review, we take a look at the giant graphic novel Inferno, which is a collection of over 20 X-Men comics printed for the first time back in the late 80s. There are many things that make this storyline important in the arc of the X-Men series, as 3 or 4 years of ideas and subplots finally explode onto the pages and all sorts of mysteries are finally revealed. This is like the comic book equivalent of the series finale of Lost. Everything is finally explained, and the series takes a completely new direction after Inferno burns itself out. Coin toss to start, and Curtis is the winner. You are watching the 5-Minute Book Review starring Curtis and Ian, and here it is. It's Graphic Novel Month on the 5-Minute Book Review. Why are we doing Graphic Novel Month? Well, because we need to get caught up in actual reading. It takes a long time to read books, so that was my brilliant idea. So we're going to start with Inferno, but here's the catch. It's not a quick read. This took me longer than a novel to read. First time I read the Inferno storyline, I was like 8 or 9. And the cool thing was it took you through 4 different series of comic books. There's X-Men, X-Factor, and then 2 others. And I had never read the last 2, so I was really excited to sit down, and because I felt like I'd only read actually half the story, and turned out I didn't really enjoy the other half, to be honest. The core of the story happened in X-Men and X-Factor, the 2 regular titles back in the late 80s. Basically, demons take over the Earth, take over Manhattan, and the X-Men are battling the demons and try to get them out of there. And Ian, tell them all about who Madeline Pryor is.
Madeline Pryor is a poor person, a clone of Jean Grey, brought about by Sinister to, well, manipulate Scott Summers as his massive obsession. Inferno is an interesting story. I kind of agree with Curtis. There's little bits and pieces of it that you're kind of like, there's a collection coming out of sort of ancillary stories that surround it. This is most of the core here, and they're kind of, they're good, but they're not as good. This is a core storyline to me because it was something so different for the X-Men. It wasn't about mutant-on-mutant action, as is typifies them, nor was it about the teen angstiness that tends to pop up in it quite frequently. It's about the X-Men fighting demons from limbo. It is something so just away from their normal wheelhouse. It's an interesting story. It's written by Chris Claremont, who is the man when it comes to X-Men. He's recently returned to it after a long hiatus, but he is the man who created much of what we know as modern sort of X-Men mythology today.
The thing I actually really liked about reading this a second time around is I wasn't so much into the demons that I was when I was 9, but the actual story of Madeline Pryor I found really compelling because she did nothing wrong. She was the original wife and mother of Cyclops' children, and then when the original Jean Grey returned, Summers basically just kicked her to the curb. Cyclops said, "No thank you, the original's back," because they didn't know she was a clone at the time. So basically, she was not a well-adjusted girl, and Sinister just all it took was a little poke, and she kind of went off.
Yeah, she is unfortunately manipulated through it. There's many times where you're reading it, and she's sort of an unwitting pawn in so many things. And I mean, Cyclops has never been an especially sympathetic character. He's always been kind of one-sided and, he's not a very deep character, let's be honest. And this was sort of an aspect of his personality that he did seem to so casually rid himself of Madeline Pryor, and the only reason for it was Jean Grey's back. And that really doesn't seem all that fair.
All right, Ian, let's do this. Inferno. Reading it now as like an adult, that storyline really sticks out that she didn't do anything wrong. I mean, it went over my head when I was a kid, but here she is, Cyclops' wife and mother of his child, and he thinks Jean Grey's dead, so he goes to the next redhead, which happens to be Madeline Pryor, and then when Jean Grey returns, they're gone.
Yeah, both him and Wolverine seem to have a thing for just going to the next redhead. It's interesting. It's a good point. I mean, you read this story that you loved when you were a kid, and you get this whole different perspective on it. The actual fighting the demons thing, maybe not so much, but there's this whole thing with Madeline Pryor that's lost on you when you're 10 years old.
Well, then she's just such, she's such a strong character. She just keeps going and going, and everything's good. She doesn't matter. She's still hanging out with the X-Men and whatever. Yeah. Scott's not there, and then all it takes is one person to come and just give her a little tap, and she just goes like bat crap crazy. And she's like, "You're right. I have been horribly used and abused, and everybody's gonna pay now." And
everyone's got a
who can't identify with that? And the bad part is about this, I can never get my wife to dress up like Madeline Pryor for Halloween. I keep trying. That'd be a great costume. Cyclops and Madeline Pryor. She won't do it. Inferno.
Good luck to you on that.
Definitely thumbs up. Definitely read it.
Yeah, I mean,
skim the Excalibur and New Mutants comics parts of it.
Excalibur.
Skim that.
Agreed.
Skim that. Definitely read Inferno.
Read it.